Nvidia, baby. I love it. I love it. Let's break down what's going on. The stock's popping as the GTC event is right now, literally. And Jensen gave his keynote. And let me tell you guys, we have a lot to break down. A lot's being unveiled, and we have to cover it. So let's dive into it. Hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe. Do all that good stuff, guys. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Cheers. Take a sip of your coffee. Let's get into it. So Nvidia stock right now, by the way, is trading at $220 a share. We're up over 4%, trading up $9 a share on the day, and we're officially now breaking through the 50 SMA again here on the 4-hour chart after being under it for about a week and a half. And we're also taking out the highs you guys can see here from the end of April. We hit about 418, or not 418, I wish 418. 218 to about 219 in the end of April. Now we're obviously breaking through that, and this is exactly what I thought would happen, with the GTC event going on. I figured there would be some hype. The stock would get bought up, especially after we saw the stock take a very big beat down on Friday. Do you guys remember heading into close? We had an insane red candle. Where the heck did that come from, man? In the last 10 minutes of trading on Friday, Nvidia went from 217 all the way to 211. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people bought that up. A lot of big money must have came in there. And now, boom, we're up $10 a share from that point. So let's dive into what is going on here at the event. We're going to talk about what has been unveiled, some exciting things here that I'm excited about. So let's pull this up. Bear with me here, guys. So at the GTC event, a lot's been unveiled, right? We can see the RTX Spark Super chip. If I zoom in here a little bit, it's an ARM-based processor that merges a Blackwell GPU and Grace CPU, and it is designed to power a new class of slim Windows laptops and compact desktops capable of running agentic AI. Yes, you heard that right. AI that acts as essentially a teammate. You guys know agentic AI by now, to execute real work. And this is where AI is headed. We started off with these, LLMs, the chatbots that came out. We had the Chat GPT moment, 3-4 years ago at this point, 3.5 years ago. And now we're heading into the next era of AI where these agents essentially are going to be like a coworker. You're going to have your agent running alongside of you, doing certain tasks, right? Thinking on their own or on its own. And that's where we're headed. And it's only getting more advanced as the days, as the weeks, and as the years are going to go on. It's a crazy time that we're living in. So the RTX Spark Super chip, which we'll talk more about here in a second. We also got news of Cosmos 3, a cutting-edge open world foundation model for physical AI. It is designed to combine vision reasoning, world simulation, and action prediction to help power autonomous vehicles and advanced robots, which is also a key area of the future. Autonomous vehicles and, of course, robots. And we got more news regarding the Vera Rubin architecture, NVIDIA's next-generation data center platform. Vera Rubin. CEO Jensen Huang announced that the Vera CPUs are in full production with early adoption by OpenAI, Anthropic, and of course, SpaceX. You guys know SpaceX, right? And we got some news regarding humanoid robotics, a new humanoid robot reference design named Isaac Groot, or GR00. Are those zeros? Okay, we're just going to call it Groot, man. Isaac Groot was introduced standing nearly 6 feet tall using an H2 humanoid chassis from Chinese robotics firm Unitree. So think about that, man. A 6-foot robot, doing tasks, doing, whatever you want it to do. And Jensen's keynote was a hot topic, obviously, right? So he talked a lot about useful AI, agentic AI, which again is where we're headed. That's the reality. Love it or hate it. That's where we're headed right now. And he called it useful AI, and he's calling it a net job creator, right? Huang's first major claim was that the industry has moved beyond experimentation to deliver economic impact. He said, today we can say that agentic AI has arrived, right? That useful AI has arrived. And he backed that up with GitHub data saying commits have nearly tripled between 2023 and early 2026, even though the number of professional developers has not. In his framing, the roughly 30 to 40 million software developers are now generating vastly more output thanks to AI co-pilots. Isn't that crazy? Crucially, Huang dismissed the idea that AI is a net job destroyer, which that's been a narrative that we're all hearing. Oh, AI is going to take your job. Oh, AI is going to take that industry away. AI is going to do that. AI is going to do this, right? And he said that essentially it's not a net job destroyer. Pointing to the massive productivity uplift, he argued that the economics are self-reinforcing. Why couldn't I read that word for a second? For a second, I'm like, what the heck is that word? Self-reinforcing. If each developer can now generate $9 trillion worth of productive work for $3 trillion in salary, enterprises will want more developers, not fewer, right? People talk about AI reducing jobs. Complete nonsense, says Jensen. If you can hire a software engineer and generate $9 trillion worth of productive work, why wouldn't you want to hire more software engineers, right? Makes sense. For chief information officers and chief technology officers, that frames AI not as a headcount reduction lever, but as a force multiplier for already scarce technical talent. Right? Which makes sense. Businesses have lived through technical staffing shortages for decades, and AI can help close that gap. He also talked about tokens, right? Tokens are now profitable units. He said one of the major takeaways is that the core economic unit of AI has shifted. In Jensen's words, tokens are now profitable units of revenues. Once you actually assume tokens, the slices of model output that power co-pilots, agents, and generative services are directly monetizable, and the industry logic shifts. Every token generated efficiently is incremental revenue, and every watt wasted is foregone profit, right? And agentic AI is the new application model. He spent a significant portion of the keynote defining what he means by an agent, right? And why that matters more than traditional apps. In the old world, you had code running in an application on an operating system, and in the new world, it is an agent which consists of a large language model, LLM, or many sitting inside a harness, and that harness orchestrates it to do productive work. And the harness manages the life cycle of work. It understands the user's intent, observes context, reasons, plans, calls tools, and juggles working memory with long-term memory, whether those tools are spreadsheets, compilers, databases, or CUDA-accelerated libraries. Jensen likened it to a person in a workshop, right? You can think of the model as the brain, the harness as the body, and the tools it uses working in a runtime. Think of it as a workshop, right? And we also got some news regarding AI factories and DSX. Nvidia as an AI infrastructure company. He talked a lot about that. If agentic AI is the new workload, the new unit of infrastructure is the AI factory, he said. Jensen described AI factories as the largest infrastructure build out in human history, with single sites heading toward 1 gigawatt and capital costs at $50 billion to $60 billion, and soon it will be $80 to $100 billion per gigawatt, right? And these facilities must work the first time rather, and it must work right away, because any delay is extremely expensive idle capital, obviously, right? And to address that, listen to this. Nvidia is pushing DSX, a full-stack blueprint for designing and operating AI factories spanning simulation and omniverse, runtime operations, and power optimization. And the idea is to co-design chips racks, networking, power, cooling, and grid interactions as a single system, then validate it in a digital twin before a single rack lands. And Jensen was clear that this marks another transformation for the company, for Nvidia. A long time ago, Nvidia used to be a GPU company, but over the years, they've evolved to become a systems company. Now, Nvidia has really started to transform themselves again, says Jensen, into an AI infrastructure company that helps customers build entire AI factories, not just buy servers. For hyperscalers, telcos, and a growing tier of regional clouds, right? This positions Nvidia as a strategic partner across the technical and economic architecture of AI. And we got a lot of news regarding Vera Rubin and Vera CPU. He introduced Vera Rubin and Vera CPUs as hardware platforms purpose-built for the agentic era. Vera Rubin is not a single GPU. It is a multi-rack pod-scale system that integrates next-generation GPUs, Vera CPUs, Bluefield DPUs, Grok LPUs, NVLink 72, and Spectrum X into a cable-free rack design to maximize throughput, reliability, and assembly speed. He said Vera Rubin is the most important ambitious endeavor in the history of Nvidia, noting that what used to take 2 hours to assemble in Grace Blackwell racks now takes about 5 minutes. Think about that, man. Think about that. And on the CPU side, Vera is pitched as the CPU for agents, featuring a monolithic 88-core design, high instructions per clock, extreme per growth or per core bandwidth, LPDDR5X memory, and the fabric bandwidth built to remove CPU bottlenecks that limit GPU utilization. So a lot, man. A lot came out of the keynote, and Jensen's keynotes, of course, are always worth watching, worth listening to. But here's kind of a summary of what we got out of it. And, there's a lot with Nvidia and Microsoft, right? They're essentially reinventing, Windows PCs for the age of personal AI agents, which we touched upon a little bit. Today, actually, Nvidia unveiled Nvidia RTX Spark, which we mentioned, a new super chip that reinvents Windows PCs for the era of personal AI agents, offering a new class of computer that moves from tool to teammate, right? So it's a new era. Think about in 10, 20 years, guys, right? I feel like if you don't have an AI agent helping you run your business, multiple AI agents running your business, people are going to look at you like you have 5 heads, right? This is the beginning. It's only the start, and it's only going to get more and more applicable to your real life. Even if you're not a business owner, right? People that are employees that work, for any corporation, right? Depending on your industry, obviously, but people are going to have AI agents as well. People in their personal jobs, people in business running certain tasks. This is only the beginning, and Nvidia is at the forefront of it. I'm pumped, and this is a big reason why. One of the many reasons why it's in my top holdings, and I'm not selling a single share, like I've talked about before. This is just the beginning of the GTC event. We have a couple more days, and the stock is just starting to move. And I'm not saying the stock's going to rip over the coming days. We don't know for sure, but what I feel like I am very confident in, longer term, we're going to do very well. Even in the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months, I think this stock will do very well. And that's where we're at. That's where we're at, man. A lot is moving in the AI world today. Nvidia's up 4%. We have, oh my goodness, Nebius is up another 17.5%, which this stock is just ridiculous. I mean, this stock is nuts. We have stocks like Micron hitting all-time highs, you name it, right? So what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What are you guys doing with Nvidia? Me, I'm holding. You could argue to buy more here. You really could. But for me, my position is pretty much built out. So I'm holding on tight. And yeah, I'm curious where your head's at. Hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe. Join my Patreon if you guys want to keep up with my actual portfolio updates, my trades, investments. Be a part of my private Discord if you want to be. All that's linked down below, pinned in the comments, or go to stocksurfest.com/Patreon. And with that being said, guys, cheers. I'll see you all in the next video.